What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about accountability. Now, accountability is huge. You hear it all the time in your fitness goals, but life ain't always about fitness. I know this is like a fitness channel, but that's really only half of what this channel is about. What is the other half about? It's all about becoming a better version of yourself in all areas of your life. So today I'm going to be talking about how you can find people that are going to hold you accountable in all areas, not just your fitness goals. Because what I've realized, if you want any area that I've ever improved on in my life, I have not done it alone. I've always had someone holding me accountable. And these people that have holding me accountable, they've all always had three key factors. If they don't have these three key factors, they won't hold you accountable. First key factor is you have to respect them. If you do not respect them, you will not care whether you tell them if you followed through or you didn't follow through on what you said. So key factor number one is it has to be someone you respect. Key factor number two is, this kind of goes hand in hand with the first one, it has to be someone you want to impress. Meaning this person is probably living or doing or acting the way that you want to act or the way that you want to improve. They're that version. So when you tell them that you did something, you want to impress them, meaning they're already like on that level and that's what they do naturally. So you're trying to get to that point where you're making small improvements every day. So key factor number two is you have to impress them. Now, from what I've learned in the past is you could have people that fit the first two, but if you don't have the third key factor, it won't matter. I've had friends, I've had family members that have had the first two factors, but without the third one, it doesn't matter. The third key factor is you have to see them weekly, face to face. Now, usually they say like you have to check in weekly. I've had people that, like I said, friends, family members, that they were holding me accountable. But what I've noticed that does not work for me, and I just fell through on what I was going to say, if it's not in person, I don't care. And the reason why is because if someone texts me or messages me or calls me like, hey, did you do your, what you said you were going to do? Did you post that video? Did you do that? If I don't see them in person and say, for instance, they send me a text. If they send me a text, I could pick up my phone. They're checking in on me, holding me accountable. I could freak out, I could have all the emotion of like, oh shoot, I didn't follow through on it, and then set down my phone. They don't see my body language change, they don't see me change, they don't see me get uncomfortable because I'm trying to justify, I'm trying to think of reasons, all while starting to feel like trash. They don't see that, okay? So it's not as uncomfortable. I'm able to come back 15, 20 minutes, maybe a couple hours later, pick up my phone and be like, now I have a reason, I've calmed down and just send the text and be done with it. And I don't see their body language. I don't see their facial expression when I tell them I didn't follow through on it. I don't see the let down of their shoulders and them, so it's safer for me. So it's easier for me to send a text, and then I've realized that I won't stay accountable. When it's in person, it's completely different. And I've had that because if someone asks me, hey, did you do this, or did you do what you said you were gonna do? If we're in person, I gotta make eye contact. And if I'm uncomfortable, I'm not gonna make eye contact. So as soon as I turn away, I start feeling uncomfortable. And then I start thinking of all the reasons of what I could tell them of why I didn't do it. And as I'm saying it, it's not coming out smooth. I might choke up, mess up in my sentence. I may it's gonna be very uncomfortable, and they're gonna see that, and it's gonna be very awkward. And I don't like awkward situations. So what I've realized is if I see this person face to face, the third key factor, every single week, I will follow through. And the reason why is because you're motivated by either pain or pleasure. I'm motivated by the pain that if I have to tell them face to face I didn't do something, that is very painful. So I'll do everything I can to avoid that. That's motivating me. It's also motivating me to feel the pleasure of when I'm able to look them in the eye and tell them I followed through and I didn't. So those are the three key factors you have to look for when you're looking for people that are going to hold you accountable in all areas of your life, not just fitness. So I think you should have someone holding you accountable in all aspects of your life. I have 4 people that hold me accountable pretty much for the main roles that I see fit in my life. The first person that holds me accountable is my dad. He fits all 3 factors. I respect him. I'm always trying to impress him, and I see him once a week. Like I said in my video last week when I was trying to run my half marathon, in the back of my head, I was thinking, I don't want to let my dad down, and I don't want to have to tell my dad and come up with reasons of why I didn't run this marathon or half marathon, because I told him I was going to do it. Now, at the end of the day, my dad doesn't care, right? My dad doesn't care. It's not like my dad's going to think less of me if I don't run this half marathon, but at the same time, I'm using my dad to be a better version of myself, because I saw my dad's work ethic as I grew up, and that was something I've always strived for. So I use it, for instance, when I'm obviously at work, and then also when I'm working out, because it's physically demanding and he's holding me accountable. So it's like in the back of my head, anytime it comes to being a husband or working really hard, my dad is always in like the back of my head, and I'm thinking like, what would my dad do in this situation? Or if I was to tell my dad that I did this, would he respect me, and would he be impressed? And those always go through my mind when it comes to like the work ethic of my life, work aspect of my life. Now, the second person that holds me accountable, and this person holds me accountable in being like a nicer person in society, right? Because again, you all have roles, and we all have to work together in the entire world. So this person holds me accountable, and that would be my mom. My mom, I respect the mess out of. I'm always trying to impress her, and I see her once a week. The reason why I use my mom is because anytime I'm put in a situation where, for instance, someone says something that like pisses me off, or someone made me mad and I'm not talking to them, or I don't want to be nice to them, my mom always comes in the back of my head of, she used to always say this thing growing up that like, you have to be nice to everybody because you never know if you may need them. And that just like sticks in my head. So anytime I'm having a relationship, not like marital relationship, but like friendship relationship of, oh, this person's kind of acting a certain way, or I'm mad at this person, or I don't want to talk to this person, anything where it comes with interactions of people, I always think in the back of my head, like, what would my mom do? WWMD. No, I don't think that works. I think that's like, what would weapons of mass destruction? Don't think that way. Anyway, what would mom do? That's what like comes in the back of my head, that if my mom saw me doing this, if my mom heard that I talked to a certain person this way, would she respect me? Would she be impressed? And those things got to cross your mind. The third role that's very key in my life, again, this is roles that I play, is my wife, Cassie, my bride. She holds me accountable when it comes to being a better husband, right? These are all things you have to be intentional about. Like when you are in a situation for a very long time, you get lackadaisical and you kind of just go through the routines. My bride deserves the best husband she can get, and that's something I have to work at. It definitely doesn't just come naturally, like you have to work for it, but I respect the mess out of her. I always am trying to impress her, like whether it's making her sweet videos, giving her a hug, asking her how her day is, just trying to think of ways to be a better husband. That's how my bride holds me accountable. So those are the three. Now the last person that holds me accountable probably doesn't even realize this because she's so little, but that is my little chunky tuna, aka Adeline, aka my daughter. She holds me accountable in all areas of life, because at the end of the day, I have to show her what a husband should look like for her one day, a very long day from now, how she should be treated by the way I treat my wife. I mean, I have to be an all-American when it comes to leading by example. So my daughter in the aspect fits all three key factors. Is I respect the mess out of her, I definitely want to impress her, and I see her every single day. So where do I find accountability people? First of all, you have to think of what your goals are in life. What are areas that you can improve on? For instance, I named off 4, right? And those are key factors. I could always improve on my work ethic and being a better father. I could always improve on how I treat people and how I interact with people. I could always improve at being a better husband for my wife, and I could always improve on being a better dad, better example for my little girl. Now you could add in different things. You could say, who can hold me accountable in the gym? Maybe it's someone that you look up to fitness-wise. If you're trying to get better at your job, maybe find someone that, and I have a couple people at my work that like, they hold me accountable because they fit all 3 factors, and in the back of my head, when it comes to teaching, I always think like, well, how would this teacher handle it? And if they were standing right next to me, would they be impressed, and would they respect what I just did? So you could have multiple areas of your life. Again, these are just 4 areas that I focus on, but what I've noticed, like I said, when it comes to areas that you want to improve on, think of people that you respect, you would love to impress, and you see them every single week. So I challenge you to find people that can hold you accountable in all areas of your life, not just fitness, right? Fitness, I mean, you may have a personal trainer, you may be in a fitness group, you may know someone that you guys trying to lose weight together, that's great. What are other areas of your life that you want to improve on, and you can find an accountability person that's going to hold you accountable and at the end of the day make you a better person. So that about wraps it up for today. That's pretty much all I got on this. Again, this is the second video on Mindset Mondays. This is all about accountability. Again, when I was running a half marathon, I was thinking of how my dad holds me accountable, but then I was really thinking about there's a lot of people in my life that hold me accountable in all areas of life, not just fitness. So I wanted to challenge you to find some people in your life that can make you want to become a better person and have them hold you accountable. So go out there, find some people that are going to hold you accountable, and let them know the motto: stay happy, stay healthy, and above all, don't be average. I'll catch you guys in the next one.